I don't feel like I'm a human being part of something else. I just feel like I have interests, I do stuff, and then I do something else, then I do something else, and that's it. I just feel like I'm a mesh of activities, a mesh of my interests, but other than that, there isn't nothing else to it. I don't feel like part of anything of substance. I don't feel part of a community, or like I have real friends or people that actually care for me. I just, I don't know, it's strange to say, I just feel hollow. So I bought the Xbox Game Pass to play Battlefield 6, and I discovered that Battlefield 6 isn't in the Game Pass. So today I'm going to play a bit of Battlefield 2042 and talk about a bit of stuff. So I don't know if you're like me. I'm 25 years old at the moment, and I always tell myself that I became conscious. I started to think about how I felt and about myself in the last years, basically when I was like, till I was like 20 years old, from 20 years old, 21 onwards. Before that, I wasn't really reflecting on what I was doing. I was just doing stuff. So my life was based on activities and not based on reflections on those activities. I wasn't necessarily thinking too much about what I was doing, how I thought about things, and who I was, and so on. And I now find myself at 25 years old to basically, I don't have an identity, if that makes sense. I don't feel I have friends. I don't feel like I have strong relationships. I know people that will call myself as their friends, or will define myself as friends, but I don't feel necessarily part of their lives. I don't feel part of a community. I don't feel part of anything of substance, basically. Even in my family, I have, I love my family, but I've always felt distant from my family, as like a stranger from them. In the last few months and years, I'm trying to change this a bit, and maybe a bit of stuff has been changing on that side. But generally speaking, I don't feel like I am having an impact or giving a dent on the world. I'm not leaving footprints, if that makes sense. I just feel like I'm doing stuff. I have interests. I study stuff. I follow my curiosity, and I pass from an interest to another. I study one subject one day, and then the next week I'm on to something else. I may study philosophy for a moment, and then I go and learn how to do photography or videography, make videos on YouTube, and so on. But I never felt like I was the person, like there was a person doing those things. I just always identified with the activities I was doing. And now, more than in the past, with maybe how I reflect on those activities, or I sort of identify with my thinking process, with how I think, with what I think, and how my reasoning is, and how I think about stuff. And that's basically like who I am, or basically that's how I feel, what I feel I am. And it's a very strange thing to say, because I basically feel like I could disappear tomorrow, and things wouldn't change. But in I don't know. It's like I don't feel like I'm doing stuff for anyone. I don't feel like I'm helping people. I don't feel like I'm doing. I am a human being part of something else. I just feel like I have interests. I do stuff, and then I do something else. Then I do something else, and that's it. I just feel like I'm a mesh of activities, a mesh of my interests, but other than that, there isn't nothing else to it. I don't feel like part of anything of substance. I don't feel part of a community, or like I have real friends or people that actually care for me. I just, I don't know, it's strange to say. I just feel hollow. I don't know. I just feel like I'm a bit of a phantom in this world. I do stuff. And it's strange when people maybe will, with words, tell how important you are for them, or, they will give you, they will tell you that, you are important to them and so on. But to you is always the opposite. Like you don't feel nothing. I mean, you can feel nice for a bit. You can feel like you help someone, you and so on. But it always will end in a way. It's like, I don't know. It's very strange to say. It's it doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel concrete. It doesn't feel solid. It's just stuff that happens and that's it. People know you, and that's it. It's very strange. I don't know. I don't know if you guys also feel this way, have felt this way, and it's very strange. Sorry, it's very strange because sometimes you're very focused with stuff that seem important in that moment, like what job I want to do, what's my purpose, and so on. Sorry, and you get engrossed and occupied. Your mind is occupied by these questions, and but after that moment of, let's say, intense focus on something, you just return to your baseline, and your baseline is that you don't know no one, you don't have real friends, you don't feel connected to other people. It's very strange. You just feel like you're passing by, you're doing stuff, and that's it. Sorry for the gameplay. I mean, I don't like to play them out with the controller, and I generally don't play a lot of games lately. But yeah, I thought it would be nice to do something with the background. It's hard to think and do stuff. Obviously, I'm trying to to kill people, to do something, but it's very hard to think and be active with a nice gameplay. I probably should have recorded it and then later on do the voiceover. But yeah, nonetheless, I don't want to waste time, or sorry, I don't want to. I'm a bit what's the word? Lazy, and so yeah, that's how I feel about things. It's, I don't know, maybe it has to do with, I always had doubts that I may be autistic, and maybe that's can be part of it. You sort of feel disconnected with people, with the world, especially with relationships. But I don't think that's necessarily it, because I don't think that every person without autism feels this way necessarily. So that isn't it. Maybe it can be part of it, part of the problem, or it can enhance that feeling. But I don't think it's the whole thing, or the whole answer. Basically, I'm bad at playing games. So what was I saying? So yeah, that's it. I mean, I just feel like I'm doing stuff. I'm just occupied with doing stuff, and I may feel so. I don't want this to seem like I don't feel nice, or I don't feel like feelings. I don't have feelings. I mean, it can be nice to help someone. It's nice when people compliment you, or are happy that you did something for them. But I'll after that, after everything is settled, it's like you return to your baseline, and that's it's strange. It's like nothing. Nothing happened. Basically, it's just some temporary feel better stuff. You feel better for a moment, and then you're back to square one. It's like what am I building? Am I building a community, in the sense like are people, like am I building a social circle? Am I building something with myself? I mean, it's like once you've cycled through some of your interests, it becomes a bit stale only doing that. I mean, it's like what else? Now, in the moment you feel like that's the most important thing. In the moment you're like, it's hard to play my hands on the desk, but it's more dynamic with the video. I mean, you see stuff moving. It counters the ADHD mind. So basically, yeah, what was I saying? So yeah, it's like once you've cycled through enough stuff to study, what's the point? I mean, it's like maybe when I was younger, quotes younger, maybe like when I was even a couple of years ago, I was like, oh, I have to study stuff, I have to learn, classic INTP shit. Like I have to gain knowledge, and that's my life. But now I'm like, yeah, it can be a bit limiting only doing that. I mean, after a while, it feels stale. It's like, what am I doing? That's the only thing that I'm doing. It's you're just studying, and you're not. It feels like you're not building nothing of substance, basically. Strange. It's you're passing by this life, and I don't know. It's like, yeah, you're not doing nothing. You're just there. I mean, I sometimes see people that maybe once I would probably have critiqued in a way, like, oh, these people are living boring lives, or doing the same thing over and over. They're having kids, they're having a family, they're meeting people, they're going out. That feels dumb, but at least they're they're building stuff. It's yeah, they feel more, they feel happier, they feel more like they built something, they feel more satisfied with themselves. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe everyone has these these thoughts, but yeah, you're like, what's the what have I done, like what have I built? Not in the sense of I want to build something, or I want to be someone, like I have to have success, not in that sense. It was like, my presence in the world. Could you tell I've been in the world? I've been living in the world. Could you, like? It's very strange. It's you isolate yourself, you study, you do stuff. You don't ask about other people. You don't are interested in other people. But then you're like, now you're lonely, and you're wondering why you have this feeling of disconnection. But also, that feeling is what makes you not interact with other people in the first place. Like, I don't know how you're made. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's sort of some form of social neglect, or like emotional neglect, as it is called. Maybe there's a bit of that involved, possibly. I mean, yeah, my parents give me a lot, but not a lot of, let's say, emotional support when I was younger. So that may be part of the problem. Just go through life, and then you're like, yeah, what am I doing? It's like, well, yeah, I mean, it probably is like some form of existential questioning that everyone has. But also, yeah, I don't know. It's let me kill these people once, and yeah, that's basically it. It's like, what people remember me, because like you're also the one that is actively not paying attention to your relationships, and actively not doing nothing for your relationships. So it's like and you wonder why everything, not everything falls apart, but why you feel so disconnected. It's like, well, you should have been, give a bit of, you have to be a bit active with relationships. It's not like people will naturally, like, stuff will naturally build for itself, like by its own sake. So it's like trying to actively better that, but also it's hard to do it when you don't know how to, or when your whole being is just like not built for that shit. It's like, yeah, it's very, very strange, because like consciously you know that you should do something else, but emotionally you feel like you're not built for that, like something is missing, like you were never supposed to do that thing, like you're not built to to do those things. I don't know if that makes sense. It's like rationally your brain understands that something is wrong, but you don't have the emotional capabilities or the know-how to to make it happen, to improve the situation. So it's very frustrating. I feel like I sort of, focus on something, I shut down, and then I have these crises of like what am I doing? Like what am I building towards? Like what's yeah, what is what's all this all about? And oh, I'm getting killed. And there are people hiding everywhere. So yeah, and that's how I feel basically. So that's all I wanted to say. I think this video has been a mess. I probably should have not play and try to make a video, because it's like you can't think properly. It's very shitty. So you don't play well, and also you don't think well. So you're not getting the best of both worlds. Like quite the opposite. And also like playing with this controller is very shitty. It's very, very frustrating. I feel like I'm not able to do what I want to do. Yeah, so that's. Let me see if I can try to kill some people in this point. And yeah, I don't know if you feel this way also. Let me know in the comments. And see you in the next video.